Hey guys, I'm Carly with Dragon Key Press, and I just wanted to do a quick explanation of why I'm qualified to talk about the whole self-publishing world. Back in late 2013, I had this idea that I would find an agent and get my first novel published, a book I'd been working on since 1998 or thereabouts. And at the encouragement of my husband, I finished the draft, looked up agents and more agents and more agents, thinking I had the next best thing since sliced bread. I knew the story was good, I'd done my research, I'd had the manuscript beta read and edited for family and friends. I was ready. And then the rejection letters started coming in, and there were a lot. There were also some that weren't rejections, just nothing. Totally ghosted. No response at all. I tried every agent I could find online, or in the then current edition of the Writer's Guide to Getting Published. And nothing. Well, I was in a few groups on social media with some fellow writers, some of who were doing this whole self-publishing thing, which I kind of had a bad taste about because I'd read some self-published novels a couple years, decade-ish ago that were really badly written, so I figured it's probably just people who have an ego and just want to get published and don't care how good it is. But I figured if they could do it, it can't be that hard, so I went for it. Back then, Amazon's self-publishing platform, which is the one I used, was called CreateSpace. And it probably had a lot of kinks and bugs to work out, but I figured if anyone could do it, it could be me. So, went for it. The setup process was pretty easy, not too different from today's version of Kindle Direct Publishing or any other online print-on-demand distribution site. It actually almost seemed dummy-proof until I got to such terms as ISBN, with the choice of buying my own for $100 a pop, or going the easy route and letting Amazon handle it by using their free one. Huge tip right here, never use the free one. Then, of course, they had templates you could use that were great if you knew how to use styles in Microsoft Word, which I didn't. Back then, they even offered, for $25, the option to register your LCCN, or Library of Congress control number, through them so your book could go and be put into libraries around the world. They neglected to, of course, tell you that if you had Amazon as your printer of record, they probably wouldn't carry it in libraries because that automatically screams amateur. The first book I published had a horrible cover, dark and broody, and I had no idea what I was doing. In the many years since then, I have learned a lot, and learned how to make things work better for me and what I need. I looked up the whole process of book publishing, read books on it, studied it like I had to take a final on it in college. Since then, I have managed to undo some of my earlier mistakes and push through some heartfelt disappointment, and believe me, there's been plenty of that. I didn't stop at trying to go traditional with just one book, in case any of you wondered. After I got my first book self-published, I tried to push for traditional with my second and my third. And there was some interest in the third book, but no real bites. It was at that point that I decided I'd already done the whole self-publishing thing before, so hey, I could do it again. And might as well, since traditional agents and stuff really just didn't seem to give me the time of day. So I created my own imprint and became my own publisher. I bought those precious ISBN numbers so Amazon could no longer claim to be my publisher of record because I used their free one. Remember, most people still see it and go, amateur! I scoured the internet for all of the knowledge I could get, researched until my brain turned to mush, and then did it all over again. 5 children's books, 1 short middle grade story, and 5 novels later, young adult in case you wondered, I feel at least partially qualified to talk about this, to share my knowledge, everything I have learned with others to try and smooth your journey, especially if you are totally new to this. I know I still have a lot to learn. Anyone who thinks this industry is one and done, it's not realistic because things are always changing, things always move, things upgrade, technology, how things are done, whatever. And there is always something more to learn, but the journey is all worth it. Nothing compares to the feeling of opening that first box of author copies and seeing all of your hard work in a physical form. I get giddy every time, not gonna lie. And knowing you did all that is something nothing and no one can take away from you. I've done this 10 times, published in digital paperback and hardbound. I may not be the biggest expert on the block, but what knowledge I have I share with anyone willing to give me a listen. So I hope you take that journey with me, and we'll see you next episode.